Let's go!
SNM Sportz, it's not what you think. SNM Sportz, it's not what you think. SNM Sportz, it's not what you think.
Hi everybody, I'm Scotty.
And I'm Mikey, and together we are SNM Sportz.
Alright.
Alright, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Ready?
I'm thirsty.
1, 2, 3.
Crack.
Crack-a-lackin'. Alright, we've got the cheers. Oh, cheers, my brother.
Cheers. Hey.
Alright. Alright, welcome everybody. How you doing this morning? Welcome to SNM Sportz. We're thankful that you're tuning in, whether you're watching us or listening to us.
Welcome.
We appreciate that as always. That's right. So this week's alcohol sponsor is. So we've been searching for this beer for actually since Golden Road put out on Instagram and on Twitter that they had made a pineapple cart. We definitely love the mango cart, so as soon as it came out, we were searching for it. Finally, we found it, and here it is. And let me tell you, man, I wish I had this all summer long. This is another great summer beer by Golden Road.
Yeah, it's really smooth.
Yeah, another smooth beer by them. I think that's one of the reasons why we love Golden Road so much, is that their beer is really, truly a smooth beer.
Good taste and smooth beer.
Definitely. And the good thing is that the pineapple isn't too overwhelming, which is nice. It's actually a good hint of it, kind of like with the mango cart too, where if you're concerned about being a beer with fruit in it, no, it definitely is the right combination of fruit and beer all together. All right, so let's jump right in. So the most interesting thing on Twitter this week is, that's right.
Oh, my favorite.
All right, so here it is. This is from Mama Bridges. Thank you so much for tweeting this out. This is Bridges Tribe. And she tweeted out, "Peep this kid's game face."
Oh, whoa.
So in case you can't see that, there it is.
Man, that's scary. I would not want that coming at me.
Not even a 9-year-old like that.
That is a game face. That's how you do it right there.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Man, when I saw this, I was rolling. I couldn't get enough. So I had to highlight that little kid's face.
And he's got
too.
the Donald jersey. Wow.
I know, right? Just in time. This is obviously on Monday, just in time for Monday Night Football, where the Rams outplay the Oakland Raiders on Monday night. But actually, I got one more thing from Twitter for Sky this week. I saw this, and I thought this is the coolest thing that the Chicago Bears did. They put this out on their Instagram. So we popped this up for Scotty.
Oh, wow.
So what this is
dope.
This is the majority of the Bears players on the right-hand side of the screen, but on the left-hand side, it's caricatures of all 16 teams' mascots that the Bears are going to play this year. You know, obviously you can see that, there's the Cheesehead right in the middle of it all. They already played them this past week. And then there's other 15 teams that they're going to play. And this, I think, was the coolest thing. So each week, if you're following the Chicago Bears on Instagram and on Twitter, they're going to tweet out a picture of, the Bear and whoever their opponent is for that week.
Wow.
So I thought this was super cool this week for them to do that.
Whatever artist made this, they did a hell of a job.
I agree. So big ups to the Bears for doing that.
Yeah.
All right, so on to our fantasy football forum. That's right, so we got through 1 week, Scotty.
Yeah.
So Scotty, how'd you do in the first week of fantasy football?
I went 2-0 in my 2 leagues. So
nice.
Won both the games, which was great. I would have traded them for a Bears win, but it's nice to win that first game.
Yeah, folks, for any of you that are 0-1 right now, relax, calm down. It's just 1 week.
Right.
You get to 0-3, then you might want to start making some serious moves, but don't go, dropping half your team, picking up all these guys and whatnot. Just it's a 13-week game here. It's got 12 more weeks. And I've seen plenty of people start 0-2, 0-3 and make the playoffs in fantasy. So don't go lighting a fire to your Nikes right now. It's okay. It's going to be all right. So I went 2-0 as well. I won the ESPN league that we're doing just for fun. We actually did an auto draft one, funny enough.
Right.
I got Aaron Rodgers, and I won with him. He had 1 point in the first half or whatever it was when I looked at it, and of course he came back and had a phenomenal game in the end. And then in the family league, I actually pretty much manhandled Pops this week. Pops did a phenomenal job drafting. I give it up to him in his first draft.
He drafted a really good team, considering his first draft ever.
Very much so. It's just, you never know what your players are going to do. That's what fantasy football is all about. But I have a surprise for everybody. Actually, it's for me, really. So Christmas came. Yes, it did. So I got a box in the mail.
Actually, I got the box, I think.
Oh, Scotty got the box.
Yeah, it wasn't for me.
In the mail.
At least not yet.
That's right.
Need a hand? You got it.
Alright, so... Oh, man.
No.
So I'm going to have to fix him. Oh, I still picked up that way.
That sucks. How bad is that?
Dang, this thing got destroyed. It's funny, so I didn't even open this.
Oh, man.
How? How you saw this? Dang it. Ooh, some people are going to be mad. Ooh. So you saw a picture of what this should look like. So I'll definitely take this in and get this fixed so that all year long it looks like it should. But this is the Edward, folks. So you can see we've been playing this league for 5 years. There I am, my name, 2018, the league champ.
Yes.
So I'm going to display this on here once I get this fixed, and I'll have it sitting here all along just to haunt Scotty.
Yeah.
All along. All along. So this is
that's
what...
a shame that it, it's fixable, but...
Yeah, definitely. So I'll definitely get something
Right.
else to replace this gentleman here. But yeah, so this is our Edward, folks, and I got a Christmas gift, and I'm good. I don't even need anything for Christmas this year.
Hey, all right.
That's right. So, all right.
I can keep my $5.
Okay. So, Scotty, why don't you tell everybody what happened with you with the DFS most recently? It wasn't football, but you had a really good run with the home run derby that was on FanDuel and made quite a bit of money doing that.
That's right. I always look for the free ones on FanDuel, and that's my DFS of choice right now. But we got what is it? What's the other one?
Oh, DraftKings.
DraftKings. That was Reality Kings. And they do a free home run contest. You just pick 3 guys, and if they hit the most home runs between those 3 guys, more than what other people picked, you win. You win money. And my 3 guys I picked eventually, and they also keep a weekly stat and pay out during the week, your weekly total. And for doing a free one, I won over $62 just doing the free. And
well, how much money did you start out with before to even get into those?
I started at the beginning of the year with just 23 cents because I unfortunately lost on fantasy football last year. And so I got down to 23 cents, so all I could really do was free ones. And so I just kept doing free ones. I won 15 cents here, a free entry into here, won 50 cents there, won $5 here, won $1 something here. Eventually worked myself up. I was like at almost $12, $13. And then I go to check my account and I'm at over $75. I'm like, what happened? And then I found out I won 62 and some change on the home run contest. So I got my money for fantasy football this season. So
yeah, he didn't even have to put any money into FanDuel to go ahead and start playing for this year.
Yeah.
So, folks, if you want to get into the other side of fantasy, which is DFS, FanDuel, DraftKings, they have free games you can play. Now, you definitely need to be checking every day because they do fill up really quick. Like the ones that are for this weekend, by Thursday morning now, they're already filled up.
Yeah, they do 25-cent ones. They're reasonable. They got dollar ones. Of course, they got the high dollar ones too. But I try to get in the 25-cent ones and sometimes the dollar ones.
Yeah, so we'll talk a bit more next week. In depth, kind of feature a little bit more of DFS, which want to get you kind of settled into the fantasy, regular fantasy football, and then we'll talk a bit more next week about DFS and how you. Because that's a whole nother way you play that game because you're focusing on single players in a single game, same way you do with your fantasy team, but the strategy is a little different because you could be playing against 250,000 people or 25,000 people as opposed to just one team.
Right.
So you definitely have to look for those hidden gems because you have a certain amount of money when you play with. So we'll get into that a little bit more next week, but we want to just kind of settle into fantasy football this week, get you going, and then we'll get into that. It's another way for you to lose or win money. with football, which is always nice.
Yeah.
All right. So on to our next segment, which is now Let's Get Saucy. That's right.
All right.
So, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to get saucy each week with those players that we think are going to be hot
or mild.
That's right. And so that's players we think are hot are the ones that you should be targeting either in DFS. If you have them, you definitely want to start them. If they're on the waiver wire, you want to go get them. On this other side, on the mild side, you want to sit them if you do have them. Stay away from them if you're on DFS, or don't bother picking these guys up if they're out there, because they're not going to perform what we think again. All right, so for our first hot sauce of the week is Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers. He had a good game in a loss for him, but he had a great game against Kansas City, and he's getting to play Buffalo this week, who gave up 40-plus points to a so-so offense with Joe Flacco and Baltimore Ravens. So I like him. He's going to stay hot this week and probably do better than he did last week.
I agree. And Phillip Rivers was one of those quarterbacks we told you to draft him late. He was going to be a solid QB. Obviously, it's just 1 week, so we're not getting ahead of ourselves, but really feel that he's going to continue to perform like that. All right, so the next man that gets the hot sauce this week is Isaiah Crowell.
Yeah, he went into beast mode on Monday night. He looked so good. He ran the ball so well. I expect him to do it again. This is a rivalry game against the Dolphins, and I expect him to just plow through them.
And really, both of these players, if they're out there on the waivers, if for some reason, you should pick up both of them. If you need a running back, or if you only have one quarterback, you definitely should pick up both of them, because we feel they're continuing to be consistent throughout the year here.
Yeah.
So get them now while they're there.
Absolutely.
Yep. And then on to our last hot sauce of the week.
Juju
Smith-Schuster, man, and we talked a lot about him, how much we like him.
Yeah.
And of course Pittsburgh, where are they playing?
Yeah, in Pittsburgh.
They're playing at home. Gotta start all those guys.
So Ben feels most comfortable at home. He can sleep in his own bed and wakes up and throws 450 yards.
and Juju Smith only had 2 less points than Antonio Brown last week.
Yeah.
So like we were saying, we were really low on Antonio Brown for a few different reasons. But Juju had just as good of a game,
right.
And that was in Cleveland in the rain too.
Yeah, and Cleveland's got a pretty good defense too, but
and should have won that game.
KC is a little shakier.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
We'll see.
Definitely. So that's the.
Yeah, they definitely should have won that game at Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, Pittsburgh should have won. They had a chance at the field goal. They shanked it, and then Cleveland shanked theirs. So.
Nobody wanted to win it.
Yeah. So that's our hot sauce of the week. So on to the mild. So our first one is Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yes, the man had 43 points in the ESPN Standard Leagues. He had an amazing game. He had 2 TDs over 50 yards.
I thought Drew Brees put on his jersey and was playing for Tampa, man, the way that guy was throwing. Wow.
Dude, it was sick. He had a great game. And I like Fitzpatrick as a quarterback, and he's a good fill-in for Winston.
Right.
But I just don't see that being sustainable, especially against Philly's defense.
It's hard. And they might not have Deshaun, this week with the concussion protocol, so he's losing a weapon there. And Deshaun had such a great game. He had like 160 of those 450 yards.
And 2 TDs as well before he got knocked out of the game.
So, yeah, he's going to be minus 1 weapon, and, yeah, he's not going to keep it up, unfortunately. And Philly's got too tough of a defense. Yeah,
I agree. So, folks, yes, he had a great game, and he's going to look like the sexy pickup for the week, because I'm sure nobody drafted this guy, but leave him on the waivers. It's going to be, he'll be there in a few weeks. So especially if Winston comes back and gets his job back, you don't want to pick him up anyways. And we don't really need him until bye weeks anyways, and he'll be on the bench. So there really is no reason to pick up this guy. We feel that he's not going to continue to perform like this in any matter at all. All right, so our next mile for the week is Joe Mixon, the running back for Cincinnati. A few things why we first are playing the Baltimore's defense,
right,
and then they're playing on Thursday nights. Baltimore defense. So those two things together, he's not going to be able to perform like what he's projected at, by any means. He had a good game last week. Cincinnati won. but he will. Again, he won't repeat that. So if he's out there, I mean, if you have room on your bench, and someone's got hurt and you want to pick somebody up, you can stash him because you never know what might happen later on.
Exactly.
But for this week right here, leave him alone. He's not going to do anything for you, folks.
Right.
And for our last mild sauce of the week, it's Will Disley. And you're like, who?
Yeah, exactly.
Who? Yeah, so he's the tight end for Seattle. He put up 17 points.
Yeah, crazy.
Last week. And so you're looking for tight ends. If you've got, Delaney Walker, or if you got Olsen, you're looking for, I got to pick up somebody. This is a guy, he's not going to do that again.
Yeah.
Yes, we know that Graham has gone from Seattle, and we know that, the quarterback there.
Russell Wilson.
Thank you, Russell Wilson. See, I forgot about that team because they're just not playing that well. I don't think.
And Baldwin's gone down, but he's not going to get more looks because of the Baldwin being hurt. But
no, they have too many good running backs.
Yeah.
By a committee over there that he'll get points, but he's not going to put up 17.
No.
Definitely won't put up 17 for me. So that is our hot and mild sauce for the week.
Yeah, Saucy.
Right. Saucy! So on to our Pigskin Pick'em. So in our family league, we've got 11 people that decided to join the league this year. So a few things we'd like to point out on here. First off, there were 5 players heading into Monday night's final game that were tied, and they all picked the Rams. So there was no way there was going to be a definitive winner, so it was going to come down to the tiebreaker.
Right.
So with the way the score ended up, there were 3 people that had the same amount of points, as far as 10 points
for a differential.
Total.
Yeah.
Differential, because when it comes to the tiebreaker, it was 30 to 13.
33 to 13.
33 to 13, and so the differential, you subtract each team's score from what you are, you add it together, and that's what your point differential is. So Scotty, Tulani, and then Nikki, our executive producer, all had 10 points.
Right.
But then when you start getting into tiebreakers, it turns out that it's going to come down to a coin flip.
Right, yeah.
So I'm going to do the coin flip live right here for you guys. Before we get to that, I want to point out a few things. One is that for Tulani, picking Philadelphia instead of Atlanta, which is what Scotty picked, was a huge pick for him, because that really was one of those differential picks that got him to stay in a tie with Scotty.
Right.
The other pick was a Green Bay pick. He picked Green Bay, would be Chicago. Scotty always picked Chicago. And so those were his 2 picks that set him aside from Scotty. Now, Scotty had 2 picks where he was the only one in the league to pick these wins, and that was KC over San Diego, and that was Washington over Arizona.
Yeah.
When it comes to Pigskin Pick'em, we've been doing this for a lot of years. When you pick those ones where nobody else picks them, it's
huge. And usually you end up winning the week when you do picks like that.
Definitely. And Scotty had 2 of those. It was just unfortunate that, for Scotty, that he had 2 picks where he picked against what Tulani did, and that obviously washed those picks out, in the end. One other thing I'll point out is that Scotty, Tulani, and then Tulani's dad, Michael, picked the Denver win over Seattle. And so those were the 3 out of the 11 that picked those. That was another reason why those guys set themselves apart, from that to be in first place to get that tie.
And we're back.
All right, so let's do this pick. So since Scotty's a returning champ from last year, he won Pigskin Pick'em for the Family League. Yes, he did. I'm going to let him pick heads or tails, especially because he's here and Jelani's not. So, all right, Scotty. So, do you want to pick heads or do you want to pick tails?
I will go with heads.
All right, here we go. So it's on film, so that we don't think that we're colluding. And let me do that again so I can't catch. Playing like Fuller.
Right.
And it is.
Tails! All right.
So Jelani wins the week. There you go, folks.
It's crazy. It came all the way down to that. It was like 4 tiebreakers to come down to a coin flip.
It was funny. I couldn't believe when Scotty texted me, earlier this week about the tiebreakers, and he's like, "I'll flip a coin." I thought he was making a joke. And as Scotty normally does, that we need to flip a coin to pick a winner this year. So I'm like, there's no way ESPN would have a coin flip as the winner.
Yeah.
So there it is. So Talani wins week one.
But points total stay the same. He just wins the week.
Correct. That's exactly right. And as far as Scotty and I got 6 points. Scotty got 8. So Scotty won the week for our head-to-head competition. So now he's got 8 and I got 6, and we'll see how we go for the rest of this month.
Mike will keep looking at my back the whole time.
Yep. And then he'll keep looking at my trophy.
My belt.
So that's all I got.
Yeah, you got probably more important than what I got right there. I'll tell you that much.
All right. So on to our Around the World in Sports. And the first thing that we want to talk about this week is WNBA.
Hey, the Swami's here.
Oh, man. So we're hoping by the time that this airs, obviously we're filming prior to the game being played on Wednesday night.
Right.
We're hoping that Seattle will do a clean sweep.
Yes.
And going to win that trophy of their own, which Scotty called out in July.
Yeah, it was...
Back in July, Scotty called for Seattle to win it all.
Yeah, they were one of my picks for the week, and they don't disappoint. And so far, after I picked them, I'm like, man, this team looks so good. I think they're going to win it all, and they're about to win it all.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Hopefully they do. They're one win away.
Yeah, I don't see them losing 3 straight.
Right.
I just don't see that. And this team is doing so well. Unfortunately, Deladon is hurt too. And people, it's funny, people were kind of talking about her leg and like, are you going to play? Are you okay? And she's like, basically it's the playoffs, fool. Like I came to win, so I can sit down and cry later on. But right now I'm here to win a championship, and so we appreciate that fire, which is why this guy drafted her.
Yeah.
Back in the day. It's unfortunate she's hurt. It's kind of like when Aaron Rodgers went out Monday night. We as Bears fans wanted to beat the Bears or beat the Packers with Aaron Rodgers on the field, right?
Right.
Obviously we didn't, and the Bears didn't in the end. But you don't ever want to, as a fan, you want to see the best of the best. And
you want to beat the best.
Yeah, exactly. I always want to beat the best. That's why I want to beat Scotty.
Best, yeah.
Yes, I want to go after this man in the picks because I want to beat the best. So that's, it's unfortunate, but they'll still win it and they'll still have the title. It'll be etched in history forever once they do.
Right.
And nobody will put an asterisk on it because Deladon was hurt.
Yeah.
There's definitely talented people on that squad. So big up Seattle. We're hoping that when this comes out, they are the champs.
Yeah, down to that game.
Yep, down to the final game. All right. So next is the U.S. Open, and this was unfortunate. The judge called a play that Serena Williams had issue with, and kind of got into it with the ref, and basically she was called a cheater by the ref, and she took that to heart, to the point where she was almost in tears, and she's saying, I have a daughter, and I teach her right, and I would never cheat, I never have, and she basically said, I want you to give me an apology.
Yeah.
Give me an apology. And finally said, you stole a point from me, you're a thief. You stole a point from me. And she got a penalty for that.
Yeah.
Now, do you know how many times John McEnroe has got a penalty in his entire career?
I have no idea.
Just take a guess about how
many
many
times. I would guess it'd be a lot.
Just give a number, like any number you think.
I don't know what a lot is, maybe 20?
He's gotten penalized once in his career.
Wow.
So, if this isn't sexism, I don't know what is. I don't know enough about the dynamics to know if this is any kind of racial issue, and I don't want to throw that into the ring to, cloud it more, but this is definitely sexism at its worst. Where John McEnroe is the bad boy of tennis.
Right.
I mean, I've heard him scream and yell. Oh, man.
He even did commercials where he was yelling, because that's what he's known for.
And he got penalized once in his career. And this woman, who is the best tennis player probably of all time, a woman, a lady, a mother, and for her to get penalized because this ref was called a thief, I mean, that gets a come on, man, by all means.
Yeah.
So that truly was sad to see, and then fortunately got swept in straight sets. And I guess the worst thing about that, too, is that Osaka, this 20-year-old, it was the first time a Japanese woman won it. She was her first major tournament win, and it was clouded by this referee.
Yeah. it's a shame. It's definitely a shame, yeah, because it was a high moment and a low moment all at the same time, and it just basically, because of that referee, it all got washed.
But, congratulations to Osaka, great win. You beat the best,
Right.
And straight sets, and so, big ups to you for sure. That's definitely a big win. All right, so on to our last round of world sports. Now rounding up is the Major League Baseball, MLB. So, man, wildcard, Scotty.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Heating up. Boston actually is the first team to clinch a playoff berth.
So, on the American League side, it's pretty much locked in,
Yeah.
as far as what's in the set. Now, on the National League side, you've got really a 6-team race.
Yeah, there's like a few teams 2.5 out.
Yeah, because you got the Cubs are only 1 game ahead of Milwaukee,
Right.
and then you got Milwaukee, who's then 2.5 ahead of St. Louis, and then you got the Dodgers, and then you have Phillies.
Right.
And that's the team that's kind of like Oakland is kind of crept up in there on you, and they're actually being talked about now. We're not talking about, but they're 5.5 games back,
Right.
which really, with as many games that are left, they could creep in there and get that spot. So. The exciting thing is to watch is the National League side of the wild card race, for sure.
Absolutely.
So that's our round of the world in sports for this week. And one thing I got to give this guy, he asked me what he should do about his quarterback because he drafted Garoppolo, and he's like, well, should I pick up Luck? Really kind of more mentioned it to me than really asking me. And that was huge because without that pick, that your week would have been a lot closer.
Right. I only won that week by 2 points, and if I would have started Garoppolo, I would not have won the week. I actually, because I really like Garoppolo this year, but I really didn't like his matchup against Minnesota the first week. And Andrew Luck was just sitting out there on the waiver wire, and I went and picked him up. And the worst part is I cut Emmanuel Sanders to get him because I didn't want to cut Garoppolo and take a chance on losing him, but then I lost Emmanuel Sanders, who had a great game. But either way, I won that week because of that move. And that's what we're talking about, checking the waiver wire, looking at injury reports, and just make the move. If you've got a gut, go with it. You got a gut feeling on it, go with it.
Yeah, definitely, because that move paid off. Because who knows if Sanders will have another game like that? You can obviously put another bid in on the waiver wire to pick him up if you want to drop somebody else. Because he was the only guy when I looked at your team that I thought was droppable. At that point, if you're looking long term.
And you really have nothing to go on. It's the first week. You're going off last year's stats, this and that. So and that's what I was hoping. Hoping I would get a better game out of Andrew Luck than I would out of Garoppolo. And
that's the thing with defenses, with kickers, with tight ends, and maybe with your quarterback. Stream him if you have to. Big Ben had a not so good week last week, but if he's out there, he's going to have a big week this week. He's at home.
Yes.
So pick him up if you feel like your quarterback has a bad matchup. But you got to make those moves. That's how you're going to win your league. For sure, for sure. All right, folks. So appreciate you so much for tuning in. As always, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the page.
Yeah.
Click that bell.
Yeah. Get your notifications.
So you know when the episode drops every Thursday. And like I said, we'll be dropping episodes every Thursday during football season. So you can get ready for the week with your team. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Right.
If you have questions, you need a guru in your life. Scott and I definitely checked in with each other this week.
Yeah.
Especially with week 1, we had a lot more questions because you just don't know. So we're just checking with each other's guests to see what was going on. So reach out to us. We'll be available all day the rest of today, as well as on Sunday and Monday. If you have questions on who should start, who should sit, and not just for your fantasy, but also for DFS as well. Don't forget about that. If you're doing that, check with us and see who we're putting in there, and who the sleepers are that we think, who's got the hot sauce and who's a bit mild.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget, if you want to listen to the podcast directly, go to our website, snmsportz.com. You can download it to your phone. You can also listen directly from our website, and hopefully by next week we'll be also on iTunes, on Google Play, and on SoundCloud. So we'll have 3 different options to listen to us in next week's episode, if not sooner.
Awesome.
All right.
Cheers. Let's go.
And cut!
That was perfect.